All right, welcome to week 3 of League of Legends play here. We are going to be getting started here in about 2.5 minutes. We are on a 2-minute stream delay, then a 3-minute spectator delay here. And we'll be getting started uh, with kind of a breakdown um, of who we have picked here. So we'll bring in Coach Gabe here. How's it going?
It's going pretty well. How are you?
Good. All right. So we have a little bit different kind of makeup. At least I haven't seen us play this type of these champs before. What is the plan for this game?
Yeah, so we had to kind of pivot away from our normal comp, which is a 5v5 comp, because that's exactly the comp that they were picking too. So we wanted to go for later game scaling as well, better poke. So we got the Ezreal, which scales really well, really safe pick for when the Vi, Malphite, and Kennen all want to dive in. Got the Brand, who is really good at shredding that front line when they do come in. Got the Victor, who also scales really well, pretty safe champion.
Awesome. Just a reminder, we are now a Twitch affiliate. So if you have that Twitch Prime out there, go ahead and feel free if you want to use it on us. We'll greatly appreciate it. It does help the program. Um, and we're going to get started here in about a minute. We are facing SUNY. Is it Sunny?
I would say SUNY.
SUNY. State University, New York, Empire. We got a lot of different ones out there. So they are also 1-1 on the season. So yeah, it should be a good matchup here.
Really interestingly too, both of their games were 2-0 or 0-2, just like ours. So no team has gone to 3 games yet from this matchup between us and SUNY.
It's interesting. They're actually haven't like overall. I don't know. I haven't looked at last week's in our division, but there hasn't been a lot of 2-1 games overall. A lot of just 2-0s across the board.
Yeah, lots of 2-0s until you get to the upper divisions, which kind of makes sense to me. As the players get, more toward the top of the league, it's probably going to be more fair games where two teams that are pretty even could just make one mistake, and that could cost them the game pretty easily in these lower divisions. So we'll see how it plays out. Hopefully, we get a good match, really competitive.
All right, let's see. Make sure that yep, there it goes. Picks it up. Awesome.
Got the low gang in the chat already every week.
We'll get loaded in here and see how the match is going. Again, if you do, you might hear the players in the background. They are 3 minutes, and well, for you guys, it would be 5 minutes.
Yep.
But it would be so they're 3 minutes ahead game wise. All right, let's show scoreboard, show objective times, and there we go.
So yeah, it'll be interesting to see SUNY Empire on the blue side here running a champion like Vi, who is a no range, all melee, all early game champion. You're kind of agreeing to play pretty aggressive in the early game, and if you don't, you pretty much got a pink ward with a half decent ultimate in the mid and late game. Looks like both teams are just spreading out. Nobody's really trying to get too frisky with an invade here in game one. Letting the junglers take the buffs and be on their separate ways.
Now,
Victor?
would there ever be a time that maybe it's our champ select that we would actually go in and try to engage before the normal time of go over to the other side and try to get a kill?
Yeah, honestly, when you've got champions that want to play for an earlier game, you become more and more aggressive. in the earlier stages of the game as well. It's about what champions you have. So Jarvan's got a pretty decent level 1 fight. Ezreal's isn't bad. Brand is not a good level 1 champion, so that's why we're not opting for it. Um, as far as their side goes, they also don't have that great of champions. Nautilus is a pretty good level 1 invader, but Misfortune, Ken, and Vi, these champions are not the best at invading. We'd really want to build the comp for it if we were going to do that. As well, the Victor started with a tier, which is going to be a not what you want to have when you're invading. Taking a look at the lane states here, looks like Urgot is going to have the push in that ranged versus melee matchup as well. Urgot's shotgun knees are going to push it a little bit. Malphite burning through that mana bar early, it's going to be something to watch here. That he might be pretty gankable if he doesn't have any abilities up. Malphite is a historically very mana-hungry champion, and you have to ask yourself, is my entire mana bar worth that little amount of poke?
I regularly go through my mana bar way too quick when I play MF and bot.
And that's a thing, especially with the newer players. You know, you have to ask yourself, just because you can, is it the right thing to do? You know, in Valorant, you can spend all your money every round, or you can save up for something decent. It's kind of the way your mana bar works too. Mana is just a resource, is the same way that you know, a currency would be in another game. You see, it looks like the creep score is pretty even across the board. Jarvan's got a camp before Vi did, so 16 to 12 there. Nautilus is opting for the Relic Shield, so we are going to see the Nautilus get a creep score number there compared to Brand with the Spell Thieves that will not. Looks like a crab secured by SUNY here. Flash forward onto the Jarvan. Going to be first blood for the Kennen. SUNY just a little quicker on that rotate from that mid into the jungle. Urgot pushing up waves. Malphite no mana. Really no way to fight that push. We see Victor just poking with that laser. Historically one of the harder skill shots to aim in the game. Misfortune doing the same thing you talked about earlier, running through that mana bar. Looks like Vi opted for an early Kindle gem. That's going to be interesting. Probably not enough gold to buy an Iron Spike whip, but cooldown reduction is good, but I'm not sure that it's what you want to have at 5 minutes. Jarvan only enough gold to get a pickaxe for himself, so take the 10 AD, but much rather have an Iron Spike whip. Malphite's managed to get a little bit of his mana back, but immediately going to use it to poke down more on that Urgot as Urgot goes forward with the E. Like no W to follow up. Got a dragon on the map. It's going to be the Air Dragon. It's the first one on the map that's going to give you ultimate cooldown reduction. Means that our soul is going to be fire, earth, or ocean. We are playing on live patch, so we don't have the fancy 2 new dragons coming in preseason.
What are those?
We're going to have, as we see Malphite flashing forward to finish off the Urgot. We're going to have 2 pretty crazy dragons. One that gives you kind of like a Scion passive. You stay alive after, keep fighting even after you die. And the other one I think is going to do a damage over time effect. So
Interesting.
in other words, we got more dragons to put the Air Dragon to shame.
Yeah.
Just going to be that more sad when you get an Air Soul again in your games. Looks like SUNY has pushed up the bot lane in order to start up the dragon. It's going to be an easy dragon uncontested from Ko. SUNY coming in about a 1.2 thousand gold lead as we see Brand getting that early Dark Harvest proc. Never going to be mad about stacking that up early. Misfortune not really going to be able to come up to CS. Is going to be a pretty lost wave. Ko's doing a great job of keeping that wave pushed at them. Going to make it hard for SUNY to really CS safely. Jarvan himself picked up a Kindle Gem, so Vi is not back yet. Gonna lose a little bit of combat stats in case we see Jarvan versus Vi in the jungle fight. Keno sitting on a Fiendish Codex. Gonna have some cooldown reduction for a champion that uses energy instead of mana. Able to spam those abilities out quicker and not worry about going like this Malphite will. Looks like Niski Yuna is going to find a little bit of a CS advantage in the top lane on the Malphite against Cupid on the Urgot. Ko maintaining a pretty steady one camp advantage on the Jarvan. Jarvan is a pretty quick clear, but Vi is as well. CS pretty even across the board. Really just the advantage is the Dragon and 2 kills for SUNY. Pretty close game, all things considered. Damwon Kennen in the mid lane. Very nice skin to look at. See another push on the bot lane for SUNY. Ko is down to just let this one keep pushing and let the Ezreal get to the late game, because Ezreal will hit like a truck once we get into late. Malphite with the Unbreakable Will going in, gonna secure the kill with the W. Or sorry, not Unbreakable Will, I think it's called Unstoppable Force. Too many abilities in this game. Ko doing a pretty good job of keeping the vision in the bottom lane. Always got a yellow ward in there. Nautilus is going to be looking for a hook, but without vision of the river, you don't always know what's going to be coming at you. Vi looking to make a move in the mid lane. Going to Q forward. Flash from the Kennen. Double ultimates. Flash from the Victor. Gonna be a kill in the mid lane for the Kennen. That slicing Maelstrom plus Assault and Battery from the Kennen and Vi is gonna be a pretty lethal combo. Malphite teleports top just to catch a quick wave. Misfortune still just pushing this wave back at Ko. Really need to see the Jarvan look to punish that in the bottom lane if they're going to keep pushing up, as he is going to make his way down. Vi's going to make her way to the top lane. Urgot ease forward, gets that shield. Flash, good flash on the Q. Vi flashes forward herself. Procs the W, but not going to be enough to catch the Urgot. Jarvan clears out a pink that probably spotted him here. That's why we weren't able to get anything in the bottom lane. Urgot gonna stay here, pretty low health, gonna try to pick up this wave. Looks like we're gonna see a repeat gank from the Vi, but don't even need it. Malphite's gonna ult forward. Vi and Malphite are gonna start up the Rift Herald. They're gonna be pretty easy, no contest from Ko, as Jarvan's gonna be clearing out the wolves. So we see Misfortune just ulting the wave just to get that pressure off. Nautilus looks for a good hook forward. Ezreal is going to flash away from it just to stay safe. Champions like Ezreal, you don't feel too bad about burning that flash early because you got another one on your E ability. Looks like Ko is going to try to drag it on spawn here, just clearing out the vision in the pit. Setting up some defensive vision of their own, as Vi is going to pass by her own chickens. Gonna get here in time to contest if she wants it. Jarvan drops the Demacian standard, which is going to give attack speed to everybody in the area. Here's a Malphite looking on a flank. Ko focusing the dragon as we throw a brand ult forward. It is going to be a great job here, just getting a lot of damage forward. Nautilus flashes on the backside of the pit. Not exactly sure what the Nautilus is scared of. True Shot Barrage from the Ezreal is definitely not going to kill you from half, but guess Ko kind of will take the advantage where they get it. Miss Fortune is opting for the Arcane Comet, so I expect a lethality build coming out here. Has a Noon Quiver, which looks like a Gale Force to me, but I don't know why you wouldn't go press the attack on that. Miss Fortune does end up healing, live through a little bit more burst of the Ezreal. Ezreal just trying to punish a Miss Fortune stepping up just a little bit too far. Here's Kennen trying to go in early. Leads with the Slicing Maelstrom. Gonna get picked up by the Vi. Looks like the ultimate is unfortunately not going to be enough to return kill the Kennen. At a certain point it becomes less about trying to live and more about trying to just do what you can before you die. Misfortune and Nautilus just gonna try to get some early plates, get some cheesy gold here. Flash from the Malphite in order to try to escape the Jarvan here. Gonna ult away as well. 2 big cooldowns burnt by the Malphite, so hopefully Ko can really work this top side. Interesting interaction to remember too is that if Jarvan drops that E, the flag, the Demacian standard, that can be teleported to. So hopefully Ko knows that and can use it if they get a chance to. And if you start 2 teleports at once, it just looks like 2, and then you can have a surprise Victor and Urgot popping out. Again, dead even in the CS in the bot lane, pretty much even in the mid lane. Just a slight advantage, 5 CS in the top lane. Ignore the 3 kills.
Yeah.
Vi is falling behind a little bit in the CS here. SUNY Empire is 6 kills up, which is going to be 1,800 gold, but if you look there, they really don't have that much in the lead, gold-wise. Victor looking to catch the Kennen out here. Kennen kind of playing a dangerous game at a third. Victor flashes forward, return flash from the Kennen. Ko pinging out that they are going to want some help here. Rift Herald dropped in the bot lane, going to try to clear it out, but does not get the insta charge. Shelly walking forward is going to get the charge off finally, and looks like it's going to be gold for the Vi. Urgot trying to do what he can and hit as much of this tower as possible. Brand sticking around even though pretty low, pretty full mana bar. 119 CS on the Ezreal in 15 minutes. I tell you what, as their coach, I'm really not mad about that. 119 from the Ezreal, 115 from the Victor. Pretty good CS overall. Pretty active early game from SUNY Empire, but we've kind of just seen an uneventful mid game so far, which, again, with our comp, totally acceptable by us. Ko setting up for an early dragon here, about a minute before
Not being
spawns.
down, 6 kills, but we're only down, 2.5K. Like that doesn't, from the outside, that doesn't seem that bad. Obviously, level-wise, they're leveled up a couple ahead of us, and it's looks like pretty even too.
Yeah, no, I'm really not too mad about the state of the game right now. We made a couple mistakes in the early game, but I really don't think that they've... It really doesn't feel like SUNY Empire has created a snowball effect with those.
Now they did take the first turret there.
First turret is going to go down, so that is going to give them a little bit of a gold lead. That is not exactly what we want to see as dragon spawns in 5 seconds, but looks like Ezreal is going to try to push this out as Ko is moving in to try to contest. SUNY does have a great fight comp, so I'm not quite sure that Ko wants to fight this at the dragon straight up, especially not with the advantage. Malphite TPing in. This one is going to be doomed. Ko should just walk away. Answers with their own Urgot TP. Looks like Ko is going to try to handshake the fight here. True Shot Barrage goes through just to see they're not on the dragon. They're actually in that bush there, but Ko does not have vision of it, so careful as you walk up here. Ko going to start at the dragon as SUNY is still opting for the bush cheese. Malphite going to show a little bit, trying to get walked into. Here comes the Malphite ult into the backline on the Victor. Malphite going to be the only one around. Here comes the Kennen. Misfortune layers over top. Brand able to grab one. Victor able. Here comes the Brand again. 2 kills for the Victor. Looks like a pretty good fight for Ko overall as the Ezreal flashes forward, just trying to clean up the Misfortune. Arcane Barrage, just great job by the Brand here. Magi Yuri ends up picking up 3 in the kill, just sitting on boots and 2 books, but look at the damage coming out of the Brand.
And just like that, we cut it in half, kill-wise.
Absolutely. What a great fight from Ko, really. It's going to be 2 for 3, 2 for 4.
And we get the dragon.
And a dragon answered back. Really can't complain about the mid-game that we've set ourselves up for here after the way that early game went. Just looked like it wasn't coordination out of the SUNY Empire side. The Malphite ulted forward and
no
kind
one
of was
followed
alone.
Up. Yeah, no one followed up.
Like inviting your friends over for a party and it's just you sitting on your sofa, you know?
By yourself.
Hanging out, eating your snacks you brought. No one wants to be in that position, am I right?
Yeah, no. Seems like, man, this mid lane has just been a battle of just nothing. Like, I mean, there is something, but like neither one's been able to get much of a push in that mid lane.
Yeah, really. Both turrets pretty healthy here. Really, only something happens when the Vi comes through. Is we do see the Vi in the bush. Kennen looking
good hits.
Stands up. Gonna get the slicing Maelstrom, but immediately gets Everfrosted. Jarvan is gonna go in. Looks like it is gonna be the Victor picking up the kill. Vi flashes forward as Misfortune is gonna ult here. Bullet Time is gonna grab the Jarvan. Jarvan did a great job of using the very broken Gore Drinker item to stay alive as long as he could. But
1 for 1 there.
He's gonna be a 1-for-1 kill, and to be honest with you,
it looked like it could have been a lot worse for Ko.
It could have been a lot worse. It was a great Everfrost by Pitulio here on the Victor to keep the Kennen in place as Kennen wanted to ult forward. A kill for Victor on the opposing mid laner, to me, is worth a lot more than a Misfortune kill onto the jungler. So, not all
just to help level and whatnot.
Yeah, just to put their mid laner behind a little bit more, who's been really impactful with them. Put our mid laner ahead, who we usually play through a lot. Our Jarvan's already 0-3, so you're worth less gold every time you die, you know? So it would have been like a 300 gold kill exchange for about a 275 gold kill. There's just a couple of different factors that compound to make it that R1 was a little bit more worth than their one, in my opinion.
So much range from Ezreal.
Ezreal is a tremendous range champion as we see the Kennen flashing forward, just tons of burst coming out there. We see Magi Yuri on a rampage able to pick up the Vi. Looks like Vi thought that she was going to gank the Urgot, but surprise Uno reverse card. You're actually the one getting ganked there.
Looks like the Misfortune and the Nala's not much they could do until their wave comes up and kind of helps them.
Correct, yeah. I mean, Ko did a great job in the early game of keeping them zoned out of farm, and as well here they rotated into the mid lane just trying to get what they can. You see Malphite trying to take a 1v1 with the Urgot. Urgot is at the point where not as squishy as they were before. Magi Yuri on the Brand here, still unable to complete the Mythic, probably opting for the Leandry's Torment like a lot of these brands do, partnering with the passive burn damage. Interesting to me that the Kennen has opted for the Leandry's as well. That means Kennen did build mana that he doesn't have. Just seems to me like a Protobot would have been a better item, you know, just get you that little bit of burst.
Yeah.
Little dash
and Empire with the second turret at the top lane. Still just about that only 2K gold advantage for Empire. Co down 4 kills.
We see Ko trying to hold the mid here, just trying to stop the push from SUNY. Do have a dragon spawning in at about 45 seconds. Dragon has historically been the catalyst by which our teams have started up fights. If anything like the last one, we're definitely down to clown
Yeah,
again.
I don't want to knock on wood, but we've had some good fights there around the dragon.
Really had some great fights around the dragon. We see teleport from both top laners, so top is able to get pushed out here without losing the dragon pressure for sure. Malphite TP definitely going to be more impactful than the Urgot as far as the initial goes with that Malphite Force. As we see Ezreal getting poked out a little bit. Does get kind of low for this fight, but Ezreal luckily being such a ranged champion, hopefully it doesn't impact us.
Looks like he might be channeling back.
Ezreal does go back. Gonna lose a lot of that pressure on the dragon. Surprised that SUNY doesn't start it up on spawn. Misfortune taking her own poke back by the Victor. SUNY is sitting on a ward here. They did not know it. Ko does know exactly where they are, so they know that they're not on the dragon yet. Nautilus ends up sweeping it out and grabbing those wards that were so impactful for us. Brand able to sweep back his own wards. SUNY dropping the Rift Herald, just hoping to get some little bit of pressure away from the dragon here. Rift Herald not going to be enough to immediately kill this tower, but SUNY hoping that they can walk up and auto it down. Looks like they are about to start up the dragon. Malphite TPing in. Vi and Misfortune are pretty low here. True Shot Barrage comes through, does a ton of damage early. Looks like a heal again. Malphite going to the solo party in his own house. Jarvan goes into the backline, does the same thing back to him. Stopwatch from the cannon. Urgot able to pull in the Malphite on the kill here. Vi goes in just to meet her own doom. Triple kill for the Ezreal. Great work by Ko.
That ace.
Misfortune able to answer back with one more on the Urgot, but it is going to be the third dragon for Ko here. We are going to see an Ocean Soul. So
just like that, the gold lead changes into Ko's favor.
Wow. And Ko brings it back. Down 2 kills, but up in gold.
Dragons make a difference.
I tell them all the time, dragons are how I think you most easily win a game of League of Legends. So I'm really really proud to see them prioritizing this and taking fights so well.
Now we have hit over the 20-minute mark, so the Baron is up.
Baron is up, not quite enough time for us to take it off that ace. You know, we didn't have the best champions up to damage it. At this point, I'm down to just handshake to get to the next dragon and try to get that Ocean Soul. As you damage another champion, you get an insane amount of health regen. That's going to be really impactful for us, and it would be really bad for them to have it since we are running a poke comp. You want to keep them as low as possible for as long as possible. SUNY just looking to kind of get a little bit of NA ram going on here, sending 3 to that mid lane, trying to put some pressure on this turret as we see Shot Barrage comes down the middle just to weaken this wave a little bit. Ezreal built so much cooldown reduction, you can kind of afford to just throw that out. So just clearing out a little bit of vision. Urgot holding the top. Looks like Ko is opting for a 1-3-1 split. No one answering the Victor in the bottom lane yet. SUNY just shoving in here. Malphite looking to ult. Just walking up, you've got that pressure. Threatening that ultimate. Cannon flashing forward. Unstoppable force. Gonna be 2 clean kills so far. No answer back. Can the Victor grab the cannon? He can. Gonna be a 2-for-1 trade so far. With 1 turret advantage for the SUNY side. Brand does have great wave clear. Gonna see if he's able to clear some of these waves out. Victor's is pretty good as well. Unfortunately, that beefy front line is just so threatening just by standing there. Brand gets another Dark Harvest proc. 500 gold shutdown on the Victor here has really blown up from 0-3 to 4-3, so maybe it was shaking the cobwebs off on a champion you haven't played in a little bit.
Empire does take the gold lead again with a couple more kills, but still pretty even.
Really entertaining one here to watch, the Battle of the Gold especially.
Hey, there we go. We're able to take a turret, but is it going to cost a life? Yeah.
Good job of the Victor to zone as the Nautilus ultimate there, but it just kind of gave him enough time to walk up and pop you.
Well, 4v1 action there.
Yeah, unfortunately for Ko, being the 1 in 4v1 is not exactly where you want to be, but this 3-item Victor is going to deal a ton of damage. As we see Jarvan going in, pulls in a lot of people. SUNY able to grab one real quick, but it is going to be an answer back on the Brand. Will it be 2? Is the burn going to be enough? Not quite going to be enough to pick up the cannon, but SUNY is pretty low stepping up into this inhibitor turret. Cannon, you got to watch out. If a wolf just reaches out, it might execute you. One more minute on the dragon. Malphite backing in a place that is a little bit unsafe. Urgot ease into the wall, unfortunately. Urgot trying to fight a Malphite will be kind of the wet noodle fight of all wet noodle fights. It's going to take you a while. I'm not saying you can't do it, but it is going to take quite a bit. About 30 more seconds until this dragon spawns. Is going to be a soul point for Ko. If Ko can secure it, they will secure the Ocean Dragon's soul. Which means that SUNY's probably going to be there. In my opinion, you could maybe try to trade that for a Baron if you're crafty. But I'm not sure that that gives you enough of a lead to go end the game. See Urgot threatening this top turret. SUNY moving as a pack really well. Just clearing out the vision in the Ko jungle. Misfortune steps up. Arcane shot by the Ezreal. Unable to land. Looks like Ko isn't going to try to answer. They're just going to try to get as much back as they can in other places. Urgot is getting a lot of pressure on the top side. Ezreal tries to throw True Shot Barrage over the top, just trying to get a cheeky steal. Ezreal steps up pretty far, able to get popped here. Just trying to stop the backs, keep the pressure on with the Urgot, but just goes a little bit too far. Urgot is answering a lot back. Ultimately going to be the teleport from the Malphite to answer. So we see Ko trying to get an answer in the Nautilus.
Oh, great stun.
Too much damage coming out of the Brand and the Victor, really.
That was a great push by the top lane there.
It was a great, I mean, really whenever you see that you can't fight that at the Dragon, sometimes you just need to get an advantage somewhere else. We call that cross-mapping. Urgot able to open up an inhibitor, so SUNY has to think about that anytime they want to leave the base. As we see a little bit of a death push here set up, and that's a very dead Vi. We're getting to the point where Vi isn't going to be that useful. She's going to ult and then try to walk away.
What does her ult do?
So her ult is Assault and Battery, and you pick one champion and you try to delete him from the game. Vi flies at him, unable to be stopped, lifts him up, CCs him for a while, gets a shield back. Quite a bit of damage, but the problem with it is it puts you right in harm's way. As we see Urgot flashing away, is going to die to the burn of the Liandry's. Cannon has opted for a full burn build with the Liandry's and the Demonic Embrace. He's going to give him a little bit of health back too. Good flash from the Urgot over the wall, just trying to get away, but that burn damage was just ticking. So we see Brand is going to get ulted, but the Malphite just doesn't have enough damage to answer. Nautilus hook coming through. Good stopwatch onto the Misfortune. Misfortune is getting hit by the Ezreal. Going to be a shutdown onto the Brand, but the Ezreal picks one up. Gets Nautilus ulted. Nautilus finds the Victor as well. Jarvan is going in. Good shot from the Ezreal here from downtown, able to pick it up on the fadeaway. Ezreal with double buffs. Looks like it is going to be a 3v3, but Ko is definitely the aggressor so far as Urgot spawns in, making it a 3v4 coming from base. See Jarvan getting a little bit caught out here. Again, that slicing Maelstrom, Assault, and Battery combo that we talked about. Cannon flashes out the back of the Wolves. Important cooldown to track though there with the Cannon Flash. His Flash Ultimate combo, unable for another 5 minutes.
And just like that, Ko takes the turret lead. 5-4.
And took the gold lead back as well. Even with the shutdown on Magiyuri's brand. Malphite opting for full tank, so is going to deal a lot less damage here. Vi's just trying to clear out some chickens.
We got a minute 50 till the next dragon.
Big one for Ko for sure, too. If Ko's able to take this one, they lock up the Dragon Soul, and the next one will be an Elder. If SUNY takes it, we are going to see one more Ocean Dragon. Either way, there's only 1 or 2 more left in the game for sure. Cannon pushing out the top lane. Doesn't have TP. Just betting that he has enough time to go back and get back to the dragon here. So we see Urgot going to answer that top push because Urgot does have the teleport. Victor with the teleport as well, going to get that shove in the bottom lane and then teleport if there is a fight breaking out. Malphite ults forward, stacks it over top. Good pick onto the brand. Gonna make it a lot harder to contest here for Ko. That's a lot of your damage gone. Honestly, at this point, I think you just send the Urgot to the top lane and try to knock down that inhibitor. Trading Dragon for inhibitor isn't exactly what you want to be doing, but it's better than trading it for nothing. Looks like Malphite is gonna go try to answer that Urgot and teleport back if they need it. Malphite ultimate already halfway off cooldown. Must have a lot of cooldown reduction.
Oh,
here comes the Jarvan coming in. Cataclysm going down. Stopwatch coming through. Finally able to pick it up, but what is it going to cost us? Hopefully not too much as Vi flashes away.
Oh, there we go. Oh.
There's that Malphite ult back again. Shuts down the Ezreal. Victor just unable to tickle the Malphite. SUNY gonna start up the dragon, try to pull it to the bush. Didn't quite get it there, but this is going down way too fast for Ko to answer. As Urgot is walking up. It's gonna be a dragon secured for the blue team. Brand dishing out a ton of damage. Look at all the passives ticking away. Obliteration from the Ko side. Ultimately gonna be an ace, but Vi is gonna spawn in 5 seconds. Look for Ko to either grab an inhibitor or a Baron. Ko pushing out the mid lane, gonna get some pressure down on that. Vi and Kennen.
Now right there, should we have gone Baron right away?
You know, I think so. I think that if Vi comes into contest that we can pop her pretty quickly. Vi is checking it right now. Getting some vision on it as Victor pushes in the bottom lane. I personally would have rather see the Ko side either push in the top lane and get that inhibitor. There's no turret guarding it, so you can just walk up and slap it. Or get the Baron. Not exactly mad about the bottom push. It is going to open up the lane a little bit better and make the dragons easier to secure. But really, I think that the top inhibitor or Baron was the play after that ace. Vi has a stopwatch in the inventory, so watch her to try to get an initiation and then stopwatch a lot of the damage and cooldowns over top. Ezreal has opted for the Trinity Force over the Essence Reaver, so not quite the tank killing power that you would see out of an Essence Reaver build, but the damage per second is going to be higher in general. Ko is kind of threatening the Baron here. Most likely gonna Death Bush. Try to just bait the SUNY Empire squad into walking into you. I tell you what, I've taught them everything they know.
Let's see if this actually
See
works.
how long they're gonna wait it out. No bleed trinket from the AD carry, which is where they would see it, as there is a pink ward on the Baron, and that's why SUNY knows that they're not on it, so that's something we gotta keep our eyes on. Need to clear that vision out in order to really threaten that Baron.
I don't think we could put cannon. We can. He doesn't have ult. He's just gonna like run away. Yeah, but you just need that one guy to out. Oh, let's get vision before.
We see a third item completed by the Urgot here. Victor working on the fourth. He's going to be a pretty lethal team overall. Blue team is pinging out that the Victor is in their jungle. Ko is going to sit on a ward here, unfortunately, so look for a good initiation coming out of SUNY. Here comes the Kennen over the wall. They knew that they were sitting on a ward, shuts down the brand. Jarvan trying to hold the Kennen away, get the damage split from his tanks. Ezreal doing what he can to do loud damage in the back. Triple kill for the Misfortune as we just kind of face tanked the ultimate there. Misfortune is going to go low, but not able to get picked up by Ko, as Vi is going to steal away the red buff. Look for SUNY to pressure the Baron here.
I think we could secure it right now. Oh yeah.
Ko trying to just keep enough pressure on. Urgot is kind of raid boss style as Kenner walks up. I'm not sure that you want that fight, little Electro Rat. Vi gonna go in with the assault and battery, but this Urgot is very tanky. It's gonna take a village to take him down, but ultimately gets split from the Ezreal. Dragon spawning in 55, Urgot is going to have teleport for when he revives. This will be the last Ocean Dragon of the game. Kennen steals away the blue buff, sweeps the blue trinket out of the bush. Ko is coming down to contest this. Victor flashes forward trying to grab the Kennen. Kennen splicing Maelstrom. No kills so far. Misfortune, bullet time over the top. Brand walking away, very low health. Malphite, gonna be stunned up. Goes down ultimately to the E from the Victor. Nautilus point blank Q into the wall, not gonna find anything when you're hitting the wall point blank. True shot barrage over the top, just trying to get him low enough that they can't contest that. Misfortune is going to heal just to try to keep the squad up a little bit. Urgot TPing in. Going to be a pretty fast Baron take here, so hope that teleport channel's quicker. Now just looking for anything that they can on the outside. That is a very large crab, man. A lot of health for sure. Ends up hitting the ultimate, gets a large slow onto the Vi, but Vi is just going to queue away. Kind of a discombobulated fight, fought on a couple different places. Jarvan went into the back line, tried to dive the Misfortune, but all the damage for Ko was stuck on the back line, running away from the Malphite. Kind of like two mice getting into opposing military bunkers and they just need to chase it around. Didn't really do anything, but it sure was annoying. Overall, it's going to be better for SUNY if we just trade tanks into the back line. For one, the Malphite is way tankier than the Jarvan for us, and for two, the damage comes out a lot more stationary from SUNY with the Misfortune bullet time. Would be better for us to kind of fight a static fight moving around. Ko bunching up here, just trying to make sure that SUNY doesn't take the Baron. Brand making sure we don't stand on a ward this time. Ezreal just going to poke out the Baron, tell it who's in charge. Vi takes the blue buff. Is going to be split away from the team. It looks like Ko does not know it. They could collapse onto the Vi if they just saw. Ko does start up the Baron, but walks away. Looks like SUNY is going to try to rush down the mid lane, try to get that inhibitor off of it. As we see a weird situation where now Ko is walking back toward their base, chasing SUNY. This Malphite taking up tons of damage, just so tanky. Here comes the Kennen. 1Q forward and is going to do it for the Ezreal. Going to be an inhibitor secured for SUNY, so mid lane is going to have a continuous push toward Ko on the red side. SUNY going to make their way over to the Baron. Urgot face checks the bush, gonna get pulled back in. Malphite goes into the backline as Jarvan goes into the backline as well. Here comes the bullet time over top like we've seen so many times. Ko unable to deal with this Malphite in their backline as Malphite just kind of runs amok. Gonna be a 2 for 0 in the favor of SUNY as Ezreal is back in spawn. Really hard to fight this SUNY squad with the Ocean Soul as Kennen is just going to walk forward like the fearless rat that he is, flashing over the Victor. Victor immediately goes into Zhonya's. Ultimately going to be nothing. It's going to be a flash for Zhonya's. Kennen just trying to get poked out. Ko trying to clear these waves. It's the Baroned up minions for SUNY are going to do a number to our turret. Malphite ults into the backline. Another Zhonya's for Brand. Very fair and balanced items. Brand is going to try to drop the ultimate right before he dies. Tons of damage coming out, but ultimately it looks like no kill so far for Ko. Nautilus misses the Jarvan with the Q. You see SUNY just keeping the pressure on. Malphite goes back to spawn. "44 minutes so far, really giving the people their money's worth at home for the price of admission here." You see SUNY taking him back. Malphite solo keeping the pressure on here. Gonna see the Elder Dragon spawning in a minute here. Have to think that it's really SUNY's dragon to lose. The state of the map. Malphite no teleport to answer. You see double teleport advantage for Ko. Lots of pings coming through on the SUNY side, just toward the Ko blue buff. Directed cam, I don't want to watch that. I want to watch what's going on over here. As it's a bush hack right back against us, Kennen is able to grab the Ezreal and the Brand.
And
that's going to be a pretty free.
Take the dragon here.
Elder Dragon. Elder Dragon does give you a very overpowered buff, but it's only 2 minutes long, so you have to think that Ko's goals here are to turtle and survive the Elder buff. As I keep looking over at the Ko players to see that the game's still going another 3 minutes. Been doing that for about 20 minutes. Jarvan gonna ult forward onto the Malphite. Malphite is gonna ult away. Jarvan is burning down. That Elder buff is just gonna kill him. He needs to go back to spawn. Now it's Victor's turn to take a little bit of time to try to hold this, but overall that's gonna be a doomed inhibitor for sure. Brandon gonna try to throw a rotation of spells and just do what he can, but this Malphite is big.
Just keep defending.
Here's Urgot with the ultimate, walking into a bullet time for Misfortune.
Right as soon as they like come in, right? Yeah, everybody come in, right? Just do something. I don't care.
You see, Coach is trying to keep their base alive in shambles as best they can. Good poke coming out on the Malphite. Victor getting extremely low. Urgot getting low. Not quite going to get executed by the Elder buff. Playing on the Razor's edge here for Ko. SUNY walks up to the Nexus, but unable to get any damage on it. Ko does have good wave clear to keep these minions away. Ko still has 2 Nexus turrets. SUNY really unable to blow this game open. Unstoppable forces forward, pulled back. Kennen gonna slicing Maelstrom over the top. Here comes the Zonia's. Backline is getting extremely low. Just at the tail edge of the Baron buff. Of the Elder Dragon buff, excuse me. Gonna get executed here as well. It's just a 1v1, the support versus our mid laner. Normally I take this 1v1 every day, but with an Elder buff it makes it a little bit more lopsided. Victor, the lone man standing, trying to clear all these minions off of his Nexus turret. As Nautilus is just gonna bounce his way through the jungle, see what he can find. Victor just trying to stun some of the minions so that they stop dealing damage to the Nexus. Seems like a little bit of desperation mode for Ko here. As Nautilus just kind of meandering around. Oop. Sitting on 1,500 gold, so you have to think that he could have gone back and bought something. We see Malphite TPing in by the chickens of Ko. SUNY Empire looking to take one more Baron here, march that in, and win the game. As this Malphite is almost the size of the Baron. Misfortune shows up and then says, I'll teach you how to damage a Baron. Coach are trying to keep their base in shambles and give this one more fight. Kennen did pick up a Banshee's Veil. That spell shield is going to be even harder to try to lock that mouse down. Ezreal comes over the top.
As we enter the 50th minute.
Jarvan goes in on the Kennen. Bullet time over the top. Again, tanks into each other's backline. Looks like Urgot stuck around with his carry friends this time. Nautilus queuing forward the Urgot, but that's not who you want. As Urgot does pull in the Malphite. Vi gets popped pretty quickly here. But it's a very healthy Misfortune for the side of SUNY and 3 low damage dealers for Ko. Ko needs to retreat to get the minions off of their Nexus again. Kind of a common occurrence at this stage in the game. Misfortune steals away the blue buff in just 2 or 3 shots. Kennen tagging the Victor as he retreats from the base. True Shot Barrage comes over just a little bit wide on that one. Urgot leaving the W on, just trying to shed through these minions. We see the crit from Misfortune dealing 1204 damage. One shot. Here's the Ken slicing Maelstroming forward, only able to grab the Urgot with the stun. Ignites on to the Victor here. Victor goes into Zonia's. Got a Q waiting for you when you come out of it. Baron minions are going to be a little bit too much for Ko to take here. Urgot trying to get as much health back as he can before coming out of spawn. Puts on the W to try to shred as many minions as he can. Bullet time for the Misfortune over the top, able to grab the brand. That's going to be all she wrote.
And that'll be game 1 in favor of Empire. And we'll be back in just a little bit with game number 2. Edgeman, thanks for the gifted sub. We will do our best to try to get that win for fourth of game 3 here. we're getting started here with game number 2. A little bit different matchups here by Empire, so we kind of changed up our picks as well.
Yeah, we're running a very different comp than we have before in a stage game. The goal is the same, but the way we do it is completely different. Still a 5v5 comp. We are playing Protect the President, where Kog'Maw is going to be our late game hyper carry, and we're going to try to keep him alive as long as we can.
And we'll get started here in about 30 seconds. Thanks for, I think it's pronounced Lut, maybe. 5 minutes ago with the follow. Appreciate that. We're going to get started here in, well, we got to go to the loading screen, but we'll get started here in just a few seconds.
That's definitely Luke. Come on, are you blind?
Let's see if they talk in chat and let us know how it's pronounced.
As we see another kind of divey, fighty comp coming out of the SUNY Empire squad here, that Nocturne is going to be their primary engage. Going to just go look to assassinate our Kog'Maw, but hopefully the Lulu and Poppy can keep him alive long enough for go. Looks like everybody is in scoreboard order, and we are on the Rift. Ko looking to bounce back from a very long game 1.
Probably the longest one they've had so far this year.
Might be twice as long as the longest one we've had this year. Our games have not been going the longest. They've been pretty one-sided for
one way or the other.
One way or the other.
As the beginning game starts here, Worlds is going on right now in League of Legends, and one NA team so far has actually made it into bracket play, Cloud9, and they were a play-in team.
Well, one half of an NA team has made it. Good Cloud9 made it. Bad Cloud9 did not. Bad Cloud9 went 0-3 in the first round robin, and good Cloud9 did a lot better than that. So we'll see what Cloud9 we get for elimination stage.
100 Thieves was the NA team today that could have made it through. They did get a pretty big win against I believe, the number 1 team in the world. But they didn't do enough to get to bracket play, but still not bad for an NA team.
Tell you who's not the number 1 team in the world is FPX. They had high hopes and did not do the best. So we see both teams pretty content here to just take their respective buffs in a game that is more competitive than most Worlds games.
Another interesting thing is the beginning game is a little bit slow here. China has actually come out, I don't know if you saw this, put a lot of restrictions on esports and whatnot, and making it a lot tougher, I feel like, for them to be competitive in esports going forward. They're putting a lot of restrictions on the younger players for how much time they can be on and how old you have to become a pro. I think you have to be now older than 16 or something like that. It might have been younger beforehand, but it'll be interesting because they have been pretty dominant in League, along with the Korean teams and whatnot.
Tell you what, when I was in high school, I was sure playing a lot of video games, so I'm glad that wasn't capped when I was there.
Yeah, they're limited to like an hour a day, I think.
I was only playing about an hour every hour. You see Rise getting a lot of poke here on the Zed in the mid lane. That seems like somebody that's also played like a lot of video games.
We are on the red side again.
Alawi gets the E off on the Urgot, gonna slap that down and get a little bit of damage here. Alawi is one of the most played champions for Cupid in the top lane, so it'll be interesting to see how they take laning into a champion that they've played a lot of. Alawi gonna go wide here as well. Gets to press the attack on the Alawi. Lots of damage coming out. Vital very low on the Alawi now. But Alawi's coming right back for more. Opting for the Conqueror, which is going to be interesting. A lot of Alawis do want the Grasp of the Undying, as we see Misfortune flashing away from the Kog'Maw in his little trail of ooze. Good E from the Alawi, just going to get more poke on that Urgot, who is pretty close to out of mana. Looks like a slow push away from us in the top and a slow push toward us in the bot lane. Lots of damage coming out from the Morgana W. Cog is going to go very low. Boy, the SUNY side really does enjoy their misfortune, not exactly unlike a co-caster.
MF is amazing. Such a great character. And the only one I can play.
We see Poppy here going for the flash E, procs the electrocute, gets the W down, not going to block anything as it's going to be 2 flashes for 1 in favor of SUNY Empire. You know, normally my philosophy as a jungler is if I trade my flash for a laner's, it's going to be worth it for no matter what, but when you start getting your own laner's flash involved, it kind of becomes situational on how worth it you say it is. Dragon started up already for the side of SUNY Empire, only level 4 on the Nocturne. Lulu is aware, but gonna be unable to contest here. Early Ocean Dragon, gonna make it pretty hard for Ko here to poke out that side. Looks like Alawi came down too, gonna just teleport back up to the top lane and catch that big wave. Ryze certainly with the HP advantage in the mid lane and the minion advantage, but hardly any mana. Mid laner kind of reminds me when I first started playing, I hated going out of mana, so I would just play all the champions with energy, so it comes back faster.
If you don't have mana, you can't run out of mana.
5 head. Went from Kennen into Zed. Playing Akali in game 3. Zed going in with the ultimate here. Lots of damage coming out pretty quick. Gonna try to get one back with the Ryze, but is not gonna complete it. First blood for the Zed after a very close fight in the mid lane. Unfortunately, when you're Ryze and you have no combat summoner with the teleport flash and you have a phase rush, not really gonna help you deal a lot of damage in the early game there. Lost chapter picked up for the Ryze though. Hopefully their mana woes are going to be over. Poppy opting for the Phage, going to stay alive as long as possible. Nocturne picks up a Caulfield. CDR a pretty early pickup from Nocturnes.
This top champ for Empire is just really annoying with those tentacles.
Yeah, Alawi is definitely a champion that it feels pretty good to know the champion when your opponent doesn't. As well, just really a bully in lane. Not always the best in team fights if the other team doesn't walk into you, but capable of outputting a ton of damage if you walk up into the Alawi. Morgana Q not going to connect onto the Kog'Maw. Would have been pretty bad for us if it did. As Ryze just tries to push the Nocturne off the scuttle. Here's Lulu autoing it as much as she can. Poppy gonna get hit by the Dark Binding. Kog'Maw gonna get hit by the Make It Rain. He's gonna be a scuttle secured for the side of Ko. Urgot's back in base. Alawi is on our turret. Gonna pick up a couple turret plates. A little bit of extra gold as Ko takes the Blast Plant back into the bottom lane a safe way. Zed clearing out a little bit of vision, and we're just going to take some gold here from our Kog'Maw. Zed going in right away again, going to drop the ultimate. Not that much damage, didn't connect with enough of the spells. You don't hit him with the spells after the ultimate, the mark really doesn't do that much. See Poppy just gonna take a little bit of damage from the Zed as she tries to clear out this pink ward in the mid lane. Urgot doing what he can to clear out the tentacles. Rise just spell fluxing, trying to get as much poke as possible on the Zed, but it's hard when there are minions in the way. Really, our comp wants to get to the late game. Rise, Urgot, Kog'Maw. These are really good late game champions, whereas SUNY Empire is kind of built for the early game, but SUNY is farming really well on the Nocturne and the Alawi so far. As Pitulio leads the game and farm on the Rise, also a champion that kind of just brainless pushes waves. Yeah, how long until we see some of our players on the world stage?
We might be waiting a while.
Oh man. Well, certainly not going to make it to Worlds when we get double
kill there.
Rift Herald there. Going to be 2 more picked up for the Zed as pretty much worst case scenario for Ko's comp on who's getting the kills. What was that skin? I don't know if I've ever seen it before.
Empire does get the Rift Herald.
Gonna give it over to the Alawi and just try to get her a bigger lead over this Urgot. Personally, I don't know why you wouldn't give it to the Zed and try to get him to snowball out of control.
Well, hopefully their mistake, our game.
Like it is because they're gonna try to knock down this turret in the top lane. Is secured. Looks like Alawi trying to get frisky on our Urgot here, as Urgot gets a great E in. Gonna take a little bit of damage from some tentacles. Alawi E does not land. Overall, both parties end up walking out. Urgot cancels an auto attack. Alawi flash forward, but not gonna do anything with it, as Rift Herald does get a second charge. Here comes the Rise, just trying to gank. Clears out the wave first, don't want to fight in front of that wave. Alawi ultimate does come down. Rise, phase rush proc, Alawi dipping in and out of the bush. Rise just throwing spells where he can, doesn't want to check into the bush quite yet as Alawi does get the E off. Fancy footwork from Pitulio, able to dodge the tentacles, and it's a 1-for-1 at the end of the day. Second dragon picked up from SUNY Empire is going to be a Cloud Dragon, which leads us to an Infernal Soul. Going to be very important to keep that away from Zed. Don't need him stacking any more AD than he already has. Poppy clearing out the jungle, just trying to stay in line with the Nocturne for CS. Looks like Rise is trying to come in here. Poppy doesn't quite get the memo, just does get picked up by the Realm Warp. Looks like it actually would have been better if Poppy wouldn't have gone with and just would have walked toward the Alawi. Alawi teams up with their best butt Zed in the mid lane. That doesn't exactly look like a fight that Ko wants to pick. Poppy pretty content to just clear out this pink ward as we see Zed walking forward aggressively looking for another ultimate. Thank you, Directed Cam, for showing us that Urgot is clearing out some tentacles.
Yeah, good job. Good job on the tentacles there.
Probably rather watch anywhere where there's champion fighting personally, as Morgana does flash forward, gets the flash out of the Kog'Maw. There's Zed diving in again. Stopwatch comes out from the Rise, gonna negate pretty much all of the damage as Zed does dive back in. Electrocute, tons of damage. Phase rush proc for the Rise. No energy left in the Zed. That man is tired. The breather to get some energy back, does throw those spells back out. Lots of damage comes onto the Rise. Boy, Directed Cam is really spazzing today, huh?
It doesn't know what it wants to watch.
Okay, neither do I, Directed Cam. Kog'Maw doing what he
Oh,
can to just
just
poke with a
misses.
couple ultimates. Throws down the goop trail again. Lots of damage coming in onto the Urgot. Alawi gonna drop the ultimate and just pop that Urgot, squish him like a bug. Looks like it is gonna be another tower for the Alawi, so
Top lane is hurting just a bit there.
could be going better, but on the flip side, when you push out your lane that far without any other turrets for the team, you sometimes just end up starving yourself out of a lane. Now she has to walk all the way up to our inhibitor to CS. So the hope here is that this over-aggression in the top lane, not spread out across the other lanes, ends up coming back to bite them. We'll see how it pans out for SUNY. Poppy coming in, unable to connect with the Morgana binding. Morgana is going to ult here. Poppy flashing away. Cog is in a 1v3 as Nocturne comes in, and he is going to retreat to the tower safely. Poppy charging up an ult because she thought the Nock was going to dive. No dive coming through yet as Ryze is able to clear this wave extremely fast. Fancy footwork under the tower, not going to be enough. It is going to be a shutdown onto the Zed. You shouldn't have taken the W, you silly ninja.
A little too aggressive there.
A little too aggressive, just kind of tried to fake until he make it. No ignite for the Zed. Would have made a big difference if he had it, and overall, pretty happy to get that going on the Rise. See Lulu kind of pushing up a little bit on the turret, trying to get as much chip damage on it as she can. You can see how Alawi is really pushing far up now just to get what scraps of CS she can. Infernal Dragon spawning. Looks like Empire and Co are going to have about similar numbers of bodies around it. Teleport ready for the Urgot, but not for the Alawi. Could turn this into a 4v5 fight. Gonna watch what's happening around the Dragon. Morgana does get a binding off on the Lulu. Clearing out the pink ward on the Dragon here. I really don't care about how top lane is going, if we're honest. Looks like Empire is not going to contest the Dragon here. Urgot pretty low as Alawi pushes even all the way up into the inhibitor. Checking back onto the Dragon. Gonna be secured by Co. Good thing to stop the Dragon bleeding there. The Alawi's just kind of left to continue pushing up this way. My rule for the team is to not take the inhibitor before 20 minutes, so we'll see if Alawi does it. As Ryze is gonna try to catch the Alawi out with the Realm Warp. Not quite gonna be enough. Ryze is gonna take a couple tentacles. Consolation prize. Fortune just trying to ult the wave here, poke the Kog'Maw off as Zed has shown up. Poppy gonna ult the Zed back to spawn, try to turn this into a 3v1, but Alawi walks out the back way. I love that ult, it's so goofy.
It's so much fun in ARAM too when you can hit like multiple
people at once. Kog'Maw just getting some great poke damage off on both champions at this point.
Oh,
Look for this Cog to be online here pretty soon as he finishes his shield bow. Make It Rain dealing a ton of slow.
It slows down so much.
Max rank, it's basically a stun. The Empire looking to take them back by their tower as Ko is pretty healthy walking up.
Oh my god, you guys do. Dragon? Yeah, they're just pushing.
Urgot again just left to his own devices, getting eaten by the Alawi here. Lots of damage coming through. Teleport flash forward. Alawi is going to take that and the tower to boot. Looks like we're sending 3 back to try to stop this inhibitor. Kog'Maw leading the way, gonna get the shield from the Lulu. Great Everfrost by the Rise. Polymorph, unable to do anything. Gonna be a shutdown given over to the Poppy. Rise gets out with just a sliver. Rift Herald dropped, and it looks like Empire is just slowly pushing in from all sides here. Poppy ult hits some minions, unable to connect with the champion or Shelly though. Poppy gonna do what she can to push that big turtle beetle thing away from the turret. Inhibitor turret lives to die another day from Ko. Blue buff stolen away for SUNY in the code jungle. Under 2 minutes on the dragon spawn. Lulu tries to bait the Zed in here. Kog'Maw just keeping vision on him, knowing where he is a little bit. See Ko kind of grouping up, sending the Urgot to the bottom lane eventually. As Rise and Cog are just going to clear out waves. See some on the way pings coming out of the side of Ko here, just letting them know that someone's got that inhibitor. Urgot going to get matched by the Morgana and the Misfortune and just need to back up. Under a minute left on the dragon. I expect to see some kind of a fight here. Rise and Urgot both have TP up as Alawi is going to chase the Urgot. Looks like she's unaware that there's a Lulu and Cog coming. Alawi does get an E off in the bush. Going to try to just take the Lulu back with her. Stun comes out from the Poppy. This Alawi does not want to go down. Gets the healing off. And it looks like Empire are going to put us in a big lose-lose as lots of damage comes through onto the Rise. He is going to live with a sliver, but it's going to be 2 inhibitors for Empire without even a dragon traded back as Poppy is going in on the Zed. Lots of damage coming through. Going to burn the flash, save the inhibitor, and almost shuts down the Zed. Good stun into the wall. They're now directed cam. I feel for you, man. There's too much to watch.
You just look at the kills, it is pretty crazy how much Empire has pushed up and taken 7 turrets to our 0. Only up 2 kills.
Now our 1.
Oh, there we go. We got 1. But only up 2 kills.
Only up 2 kills,
But
up a lot of CS, a lot of turrets, and now up 2 dragons. As this looks like a very dead Urgot. Just going to try to get one on the way out, but gets interrupted mid-E. Good damage onto the Nocturne, but it's not quite enough to make it a 1-for-1. You know, I tell the Ko team in times like this, it's not unwinnable. You just need to keep pushing back how long it is going to be until you do win. 22 minutes and does not look like Ko is going to win anytime in the next 5 or 10 minutes. Looks like we could be in for a long one. At least that's what we're hoping for as Ko fans. Nocturne clearing out his jungle there, does have a decent CS lead, about 17. Bigger lead is coming in the form of top lane for SUNY, but the 195 CS from the Cog is pretty good, as Poppy does end up face checking a bush for the Zed here. Wow, Zed's popping one of our tanks.
Yeah, I think it's fine.
We clear out as much vision as we can, make sure that we don't walk into another one of those, as Lulu is going to also walk just a little bit too far for another bush. You know what they say, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, I probably should have had a ward in that bush. SUNY really trying to pressure this Baron here, getting all the wards down on the Baron as well, clearing out Ko's by our red buff. Here's the Bush Alawi again, trying to get our Kog'Maw as quick as possible. Exhaust comes down. Lulu ultimate keeps the Cog alive. Great Everfrost. Rise able to pick it up. Lots of cooldowns expended on the side of Ko to keep the Cog alive, but overall, it's just going to be a 1 for Baron. Soon he's just going to hit a quick reset here and look to shove in a lane with the Baron buff. Dragon spawning in a minute 40 is going to be the soul for SUNY. Is going to be the tail end of the Baron buff. SUNY is kind of grouping up in the bottom lane, both to provide pressure for the Dragon, and it's the only lane that they don't have pushed all the way to inhibitor, so really just looking to open up the game the rest of that way, as we have 3 top answering the Zed. Lulu gets hit by a make it range, trying to get some of these blast cones out of the way.
Yeah, just make sure all this
Poppy in behind the Zed here, able to get the stun into the wall. Everfrost flash forward from the Zed, chasing away. It is going to be an ultimate from the Urgot that finishes off the Zed. Good kill back, but it looks like it is going to be a Soul Dragon given over to SUNY. Kog'Maw the lone challenge here, but that's not exactly who you want walking into a 1v4. Hitting on 2 items, so it is going to deal a lot of damage, but this dragon is just made out of paper when it comes to the SUNY damage. Lulu teaming up with Cog again to get this wave pushed out a little bit, stop the push by SUNY. I do like Lulu electing for the Moonstone Renewer build, just maximizing her ability to keep her teammates alive.
unrooted. Okay, yeah, so we don't run now.
Let's hear SUNY again pushing into the bottom lane. Rise just clearing out as many waves as he can on the top. Quick wave clear out of the Misfortune and Nocturne. Just absolutely melting turrets here. As Zed doesn't look like he's in the best position. Unable to capitalize. Zed has elected for a very aggressive build here, going with the Collector, just trying to get as many executes as he can. Flash over the wall for the Rise, trying to get away from the Zed as well as the Alawi. Quick work of the Rise. SUNY is trying to pressure this top inhibitor again. 3v2. Zed. Quick work. And this cog hurts.
Inhibitor lives.
Inhibitor lives with not much health at all. See, the Lulu ends up flashing away. It is going to be a fully open co-inhibitor line. Still has those 2 Nexus turrets, but 3 open inhibitors is not exactly where you want to be. And Morgana just trying to clear out the waves that she can. Lots of damage coming out of that. Huddle plus Infernal Soul. SUNY Empire just taking a nice little reset. Time to farm out their own jungle, pick up their buffs, buy some items. As we see teams grouping up around the mid lane. Alawi is in the bottom, no teleport. Urgot walking up into a misfortune ult is going to make quick work. Zed gets the kill credit on that one. As Rise is going to take the front door in, the rest of the team is going to recall. Here's Zed and Misfortune just burning through the inhibitor. Misfortune doesn't even pay any mind to the rest of the team, just going to take it, and it is going to be 2 kills for the Kog'Maw, traded for the inhibitor. Cog is getting big, and I don't just mean the Lulu ult, as Alawi ease forward onto the Poppy. Alawi just going to walk up and try to get it, but Cog is going to make quick work out of her. Rise Realm Warping. Gets binded. Not able to complete. What a great binding from the Morgana. Have to believe that that's a team wipe if he's able to get that Realm Warp off. At this point, it's kind of shaping up to be a Cog versus Zed matchup, one for the ages. You see Urgot coming into that stage that he hit last game, pretty big, pretty tanky. Ko just clearing out some waves. We are going to have an Elder Dragon spawning in 40 seconds. It's going to be a pretty big objective for the teams to fight over here. Alawi teleport into the mid, and we've got 9 players here. Rise is in the bot lane pushing it. Binding connects on the Urgot. Zed pushing at the top. Ko drops 2 teleports in order to try to chase him. Looks like he is just going to walk his way out. Nocturne soloing the Elder Dragon. Come on, Dirty Cam, give the people what they want. Maybe a quick take from SUNY as Poppy comes in with the ult, sends Alawi back toward her spawn. Here comes the Z onto the Rise, throws the full combo forward, and it's a 1 combo half health Rise. SUNY moves forward toward the Baron, as Ko is trying to just turtle out the Elder. Pretty easy Baron for SUNY here, gonna recall. Here comes SUNY just trying to charge it down the mid lane. Man, Zed has been in this top lane for what feels like 5 minutes.
Yeah. It's been up there for a while.
As Ko is rightfully scared of him. SUNY looking to just push it down the mid lane and try to go for the Nexus here, as Urgot's trying to clear out the waves. Poppy attempts to send somebody back to spawn. It is not going to hit anybody as the Elder Dragon comes through. Misfortunate. Quick work of the Urgot. Salawi is just burning through turrets. Looks like our Lulu got pretty low pretty quick.
And that'll be it for today's match as Empire takes the game 2-0. Thanks for coming out and supporting Ko. We will be back online tomorrow at 7 p.m. for our Smash team, our undefeated Smash team will take on Bethel University. So that'll be a great matchup Monday at 7 p.m. So feel free to come out and support our undefeated Smash team. All right, until then, see ya.